Bangalore, one glass of water comes from Krishnaraj Sagar Dam or Shiva Dam or Netkal
Mhm.
Dam, which is easily over 130 kilometers away, the nearest dam.
Okay.
So on an average, the water which comes to my tap traverses 165 kilometers before it reaches me. And it climbs vertically 1,000 feet because Bangalore is a hill station. Dams are
Yeah.
at lower
Yeah.
level. So just think about this. To pump 200 crore liters of water every day into Bangalore city, how much amount of energy is required?
True. True.
On an average, out of the total power generated in Karnataka, 35% for power is used only for pumping water. So, if you ask me about my roots are actually in the coastal Karnataka, that is the Konkan region, right? You might have heard about the Konkan coast of India, right? Which starts from Ratnagiri, Veer, Goa, and all the way into Karnataka, all the way till Mangalore. So, we are from the Konkan coast, but my parents settled in the north part of Karnataka, which is Hubli. So I had my all my education in Hubli, in engineering college by name BVB College. Now it is KLE University. So post that I did my masters in the famous Manipal University, and then from 2011 I am in Bangalore. It's been about 11 and a half years I am in Bangalore as of now. So yeah, I mean, on the work front, I am working with telecom majors. My previous company was Cisco, and now I am with a company called Dialpad, which is a startup into cloud telecommunications. Yeah, so I was like a typical Bengaluru citizen almost till 2018 May. Never bothered about anything. Like, okay, fine, there is a water issue. Somebody else will sort it out. Why should
Yeah.
I jump in? Right? Okay, there is a air pollution in Bangalore. What should I do about it? I mean, मैं तो petrol डाल के चला रहा हूँ, and petrol is readily available, right? Okay, fine. I mean, there is plastic pollution in Bangalore. Why should I care about it? It's municipality's headache, right? There
Mm.
are elected representatives out of it. But in the year 2018 May, which was a peak summer, if you recollect in India, right, elections happen every now and then. And in 2018 May, it happened that in Karnataka there was a Vidhan Sabha election, which is legislative
Mhm.
assembly elections. So what happened was immediately after the election result was declared, there will be some kind of a josh in all our uh, elected representatives.
Yeah.
That josh will be there for 1 or 2 months only. I mean, after that it will die off. So in this josh, what happened was there was a lake. The point where I am sitting is just like 1 kilometer aerial distance. There is a lake called Begur Lake,
Mhm.
and this is one of the biggest water body. Not saying the largest water body in Bangalore, but out of 1,300 lakes that were built in Bangalore, it was one about the biggest, right? So this lake was drained off. Why? They wanted to make a lakefront. They wanted to make a jogging track out of it, right? But lake was drained out to create a bank on top of it. And even today, that lake is not fixed, by the way. It's 5 years completely, and another election is scheduled now, right? Even today, the lake is once it was drained, there were few high court cases, and when case goes into court, right, 20 years it will be there itself. It won't come out. So the whole point I am bringing out was that lake was drained, right? And to tell you a little bit more about that lake, right, Shreyas, you can connect with me on this. So the city Bengaluru, what we call today, the name is derived from a word called Bendakaluru. I'm not sure whether you heard about it. I recommend you to read some history about the city, where the
Right. Right.
name of today's name of Bengaluru was derived from the word Bendakaluru. What that
Okay.
exactly means? Benda is boiled, Kalu is seed or a bean, Uru
Mhm.
is city, a boiled bean city, right?
Mm.
And from where this name came, it was all there in the eh, folklore. People were saying
Mhm.
and passed on to generations. Nowhere it was written. Okay.
Mhm.
But when this lake was drained, they
Mm.
found an inscription in that lake, which was done by Hoysala kings. And The story was
Interesting.
written. The Hoysala king came to that lake and
Mhm.
came to that area for some probably like hunting or something. And he was so starved and so exhausted. He went to a nearby village there and asked for some food and water. And that's how he named it as a boiled uh, bean place, Benda
Okay.
Kaluru. And he
Okay.
constructed a lake in that region 1200 years back, and that lake
That's
was Begur
uh,
Lake. So we killed a historical lake,
mm,
right?
true.
And lake is a ecosystem. Just think about it. It's a economy in itself, right? There are
Mm.
fishermen who survive on it. There is like a lot of what do you say, the flora and fauna
Flora and
associated
fauna.
with
Yeah.
it,
True.
right? So on top of that, most important thing is lakes in Bangalore play a very important role in maintaining the groundwater level,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? You may not believe me that the day lake was drained, the very next day we lost five bore wells, five tube wells, which
Mm.
was the only source of water for the place where I am living, this apartment, right?
Oh.
Metropolis
Okay.
Gurukrapa in south of Bangalore.
Okay.
Just think about this. Like what others thought, and what, okay, we lost our bore well. Fine, we'll go to tankers,
Mm.
right? And what are tankers? Tankers are nothing but a source of air pollution. They fetch water from nearby district, sometimes Kolar, or nearby state. Bangalore gets water
Mhm.
from Tamil Nadu also on the tankers, and they ferry the water to your apartment, dump it. So just think about
Right.
it, how much carbon is involved in this, right? In name
True.
of water, we are also doing air pollution. And you may not believe me, I don't want to name those apartments where I had a very tough time. There are apartments in Bangalore which take more than 240 tankers per day from neighboring state.
240.
Yeah,
That's
and a tanker is 12,000 liters.
yeah.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
think
That's
about
true.
the amount of wear and tear on the roads. Just think about
Yeah.
the diesel pollution. Just think about the air pollution it
Everything.
causes. And just think about the farmer, right, from where he is extracting so much of water and pouring it somewhere else. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this is, Ketul, if you can connect, this is predominantly what Dr. Upendra Rawal told. The time you create a hole in the earth, you are
Yeah,
gone.
correct.
Mhm.
Just think about this, 120 tankers have 120 holes. And number of bore wells in Bangalore has crossed, trust me, it has crossed 5 lakhs. Nowhere
Oh,
this record
man.
is there, right? And
Five
so
lakh.
we also shifted to tankers, and this was in May 2018. But I had a very strong opinion of drinking against drinking tanker waters. First of all, I feel that we don't know the source of water. Okay. And
Yeah.
second is we should do something. We should not, once you rely on external source for water, you are always relied, right? You cannot go it back. And tanker itself is a bigger political mafia in Bangalore, right?
Mhm.
So I don't want to talk about the tanker and political connections, but I just wanted to point this out. So what we decided was, fine, we have a issue, we should act. And
All right.
that's where I jumped into this whole little stuff, and what I did and all, maybe we can talk in subsequent. But to answer your question to the point, it was because I was made to work into that, because I felt the need to work till the point last drop of water is available, we don't act.
Mm.
We lost the last drop of water, and I had to act,
Right.
right? And you may ask me, why only you, why not the other residents? Mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Koi aur kar
Ultimately,
lega,
that's
right? So
yeah.
that's my first step into this particular thing. So was it little long, or did I answer your question?
no, no, that actually helps us put into a right context actually of this conversation.
To put in a context, Bangalore had three rivers and 1,300 lakes. The
Yeah,
three rivers are gone today. They are no
Yeah.
longer existing. And out of the 1,300 lakes, only 10 are in a drinkable state, and 200
Oh
exist.
my
The
God.
rest don't even exist.
yeah. Bangalore was once called City of Lakes, and now let's go a little deeper on this. So you said that you had to act. Okay. Now, many of the times it happens that okay, pani khatam ho gaya, now what I'm going to do. Okay. So what was your thought process like? were there any options that you thought about कि अभी क्या करना चाहिए, and then you came to a point कि okay, now if I'm an engineer, I'll go in this way. Like, what are options you thought about, and how did you kind of end up doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So I think when I was in class 7 or class 8, back then there was NDA government, and they had a very brilliant idea of linking the rivers. And every day some or the other articles on linking the rivers used to come in the newspapers, in the Kannada vernaculars, right? But apart from all these articles, which are like, I'll talk about these also, like the river linking and all later point in this particular discussion. But apart from this, there used to be one separate column in Kannada vernacular, especially Vijay Karnataka, which was written by Shri Padre. I'm not sure whether you both have heard this name, Shri Padre. He is a veteran in rainwater harvesting. Think about this. In the year 1995, he started a Kannada paper called Adike Patrike, and he started writing about the term, writing about how to harvest rainwater. In fact, many people credit him for coining the term rainwater harvesting, right? I was a very, like, you may not believe me, I had all the paper cuttings kept. Back then there was no Google, nothing, right? I had like a stack of paper cuttings which I had kept from my school days. And that's when I was kind of thinking ki rainwater harvesting should be done at some particular point. But I never got an opportunity to uh, experiment on it, because necessity is the mother of all innovation, right? I never felt the necessity. Some water was coming in my tap and it was all fine. Now I did not have the basic need. I had to act. So first thing what struck to my mind was Shri Padreji. And in Wow Forum itself, I had an opportunity to talk to him recently. I can share those videos also as well with you. Uh, so Shri Padreji, the Shri Padreji's rainwater harvesting was always there on my mind. So I started doing some basic analysis, right? Like, if I do the rainwater harvesting, will I be able to survive at least for 1 month, 2 months in this apartment? See, now I'm not able to survive 12 months. I am relying on something else. If I do something now, will I be able to survive at least 1 month, right? Because that's because I am investing something, and will I get that particular returns? For that basic, I started to do the analysis on the rainfall pattern. And good thing is meteorological department has a very great data of how the rainfall is in across India. In Karnataka in specific, we have that data very uh, properly maintained. And little bit on the geography of Bangalore, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Bangalore is a hill station.
Right.
Yeah.
It is on par with Ooty, but urbanization has killed it. But it is
Mm.
actually a hill station. That means it will have good amount of rainfall, whatever it is.
Mm.
Whether it
Mm.
is having droughts in other part of the India, Karnataka, Bangalore will still get ample amount of rainfall, right? Because of the elevation.
True. True.
So I just had a thing. Oh, average it rains about 960 mm of rainfall annually. Okay. So, but for the past 3 years, it has crossed 1500 mm because of the excessive
Oh.
rainfalls. What? Just think about this. This is the city of 1,000 square kilometers. Okay. And it's ever growing, by the way.
Mhm.
It's today 960 odd square kilometers. And just think about this 960 square kilometer into 960 mm rainfall. It is almost what Bangalore drinks every year. I'm not
Yeah.
exaggerating the fact. You can do the basic
Yeah.
mathematics, right? 1,000 square kilometer area into like 10 meter of rainfall. This is what Bangalore drinks, right? 200 crore liter a day. And
Right.
Mhm.
then we thought, okay, if this can be thought out at a Bangalore level, why can't we do it at a smaller level and demonstrate? And that's
Mhm.
when we started experimenting with the rainwater harvesting. So trust me, it is not my independent house. This is an apartment.
Right.
And
Yeah.
88
Yeah. That's
owners
why.
have 88 brains.
Yes.
One
Yeah.
Ganesh who doesn't even have any experience is speaking something that he will do. 87 will oppose. ये बंदा कुछ करेगा, कुछ कांड करेगा, right? This
Yes.
is
Right.
what will happen, right? So what I did was like, okay, fine, we'll not go with the full implementation. Let's build a
Mhm.
POC first. Okay.
Mm.
I pulled in money
Mhm.
to do a POC, proof of concept. Right.
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 I ordered few rainwater filters, rainwater filtering systems from Alibaba. Back then, Alibaba was existing. Now it is banned in India. Got it delivered. You may not believe me, we did not have funds. Few of us did the plumbing,
Oh.
right? And we did the plumbing for about our total apartment size, rooftop is about 37,000 square feet. We did the POC for about 4 or 5,000 square feet area to make
Mhm.
sure that that water is drinkable and we can
Mhm.
actually harvest it. And this kind of become very successful. We kind of reduced our tanker inputs, and
Nice.
people were uh, now accepting the fact that our apartment can be run using rainwater. Rainwater is drinkable, rainwater is bathable, rainwater is washable.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like, people would have thought, right, I don't want to bath in this one. My skin is very nice skin, it will be having
Yeah.
rashes. I don't want to bath using rainwater. And then I tell, okay, rainwater is the purest form of water, why don't you have to
Mhm.
worry? No, we want proof. So for this, all these blind tests had to be done, right? And this is what the initiative started. And then um, like, what happened was, this was in the year 2019 January. We ordered
Mhm.
all these things from AliExpress, and then by February we had commissioned it. I still remember the date. I was in Ooty by that day, February 26, 2019. A person called me from our apartment and said, "Was you had installed this system and you are in Ooty, but I want to tell you that all the empty tanks are full because of the rainwater." And when I say empty tank, it was zero, and full, it means 2 lakh liters,
Right.
Oh,
right?
that's
And
great.
2 lakh liters can survive the apartment for 5 days,
Mhm.
right? Because we require hardly 40,000 liters per day. And I was like, wow, somebody acknowledged, right? Then the same person, okay, his name is Rohan. What he did was, by then we were not completely done. Okay, it was just POC only.
Mhm.
Mhm.
POC may we achieved this much. And this person, like, is a social media guy just like me, but he, in my absence, he took all the pictures and he put it on the social media and Twitter basically, and tagged most of the journalist people, right? uh, media guys. So
Mhm.
basically what happened was, it caught attention of the media. And when I was back, I was surprised to see few people from media in my apartment. And like, he
Oh,
called me up and says,
crazy.
"Boss, I have done my job, now you take over." Like, wow, man, you have good amount of reach. So, and this was in the year May 2019.
Mhm.
And the success story, and by the way, we had crossed peak summers without any tankers. Okay, February 2019 to May 2019, we just survived on rainwater, right? And
Crazy.
that too in the peak summer. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was like, okay, there are media guys. They will take. They said they will take an interview. And fine, go ahead. Then they published the photos, they published the stories, and all. It became very hit. And you may not believe me. In the year May, a lot of things happened in India. May 24, 2019, the
Mhm.
general election result was declared. Modi was selected for the
Yeah.
second term.
Right.
In
Mhm.
this, what happened was, Bangalore South, right, the
Mhm.
constituency where our apartment is, got a new MP,
Mhm.
right? A new
Okay.
MP was Tejasvi Surya, the
Wow.
youngest Lok Sabha MP in current Lok
Mm.
Sabha. He was just 28, I was just 29.
Oh.
Okay, one fine day, I got a call
Mhm.
saying that, can you come and meet the MP? Okay.
Crazy.
Like, okay, what's happening? My family, no one was, I haven't even met a Gram Panchayat member or Sarpanch. I'm getting a call from MP. Something seriously wrong in this country. Okay. Then, okay, I went out,
Mm.
had a great meeting with Tejasvi, who eventually became a good friend. Uh, Tejasvi was young and dynamic, and still young and dynamic. He had crazy ideas in his mind. And then he told us, first part of this was, let's, whatever work you guys have done,
Mm.
let's showcase this. the way to showcase this was he nominated us for National Water Awards 2020
Mhm.
or 20,
Yeah.
yeah, National Water Awards 2020, right? So this is given by Jal Shakti Ministry of Government of India under CGWB, Central Groundwater Board. Okay, so this is one of the coveted awards in the water conservation field. He nominated us to this award. We were hopeful of winning it, but we did not. Okay, but nomination itself was very great at that level. So this nomination opened up multiple other challenges, not challenges, multiple other opportunities,
Mhm.
right? So a team from Central Water Commission, which is CWC, which is
Yeah.
the key stakeholder for all the irrigation, dam, surface water projects. A team from CWC visited our premises to justify whether whatever we are claiming is done or not. Key, we are also giving a fake data. So they
Right.
came here, they did a week-long analysis, and they submitted the report to Jal Shakti Ministry. They submitted the report to Niti Aayog. They submitted it back to the CM office in Karnataka. So they submitted it multiple folds, and even like I was called for a few of the panel discussions where we discuss and debate about all these things, and kind of opened up our channel towards Niti Aayog. And in this, all this, what happened was like the social media articles kept on increasing. And
Mhm.
because of the media articles, what happened was like I had to run a workshop on rainwater harvesting every week because I had so many visitors coming in. So
Mhm.
this kind of built a chain. And what started with one apartment today is at about 160 plus apartments. Right? It ignited a spark that hum bhi kuch kar sakte hai. And major thing for major benefit for this, like sorry, the major uh, driving factor behind this was not water, was not environment, not
Mhm.
saving nature. It was about money. The amount of tankers you save is the amount
Yeah.
of money saved by the association, and it reduces the maintenance bill by for each individual who stays in that apartment. So
Yeah.
wherever there is money,
True.
right, people come
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
right?
True.
And in this, what happened was there is a very nice gentleman called Sonam Wangchuk. You might have
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
about him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The
right?
these one among. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I saw your photo with him
yeah. I think it's there on
somewhere.
LinkedIn if
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
so he started I Live Simply movement,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were looking for a founding team out of Bangalore, right?
Mhm.
So few of us got together for the I Live Simply movement, and like we had opportunity to meet Sonam Wangchuk when I was here in Bangalore for the Wipro Earthian Awards. We had a very great time spent with him. Like we had a luncheon session as well. So the idea is like through that I Live Simply movement as well, I conducted multiple other workshops just to encourage the rainwater harvesting in Bangalore. So the story is net we started with the POC, then we went with the proper phase one implementation, which covered half of the building. Then we did phase two, which covered other half of the building. And you may not believe me, this is all self-funded. We did not raise a single rupee fund from anybody.
Mhm.
So the initial investment, whatever I had put in,
Mhm.
that saved about 2 lakh rupees worth of water bill.
Oh.
And
Right.
that became the
Okay.
investment for phase one.
Mhm.
Phase one saved
Interesting.
another 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees, and that became the investment for phase two. And today, after phase two completion, we are relying only on rainwater for all our requirements for 7 months a calendar year.
Oh.
Okay, and we don't even
Great.
use our
Great.
borewells now.
Mhm.
Crazy.
So,
Crazy.
yeah. So that's like uh, a very like subtle start to uh, a movement, sort of what I'll call. I have two questions. Okay. First one is that what was hard on implementation level? Was it convincing people? And if so, like what were the common objections that you faced? And second one was from a technical perspective. Like let's say if some layman wants to start in, okay, they have a trigger, I want to do that. Then what were the technical challenges that you had?
Okay. So to answer your first question, right? What was the major challenge involved? Let me put it very candidly. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you are designing an apartment, if you consider all these things into picture, nothing can be, everything can be done. It's like nothing is impossible in that particular thing because you plan your plumbing in such a way. But when
Right.
you are going to retrofit,
Yeah.
yeah, but now the question is, now you have to just think about this. It's a 37,000 square feet apartment. It will have multiple vertical drops for your rainwater,
Mm.
and you have to collect it via a common channel to the filtration system, and then filter it and leave it to the uh, like underground storage, right? So it will have some horizontal components as well as vertical components. Vertical component is what where the water comes from the roof till the ground level, and vertical horizontal where water travels towards the filtering mechanism. So when vertical, nothing will happen, everything will run in shafts. When there is a horizontal piping, right,
Yeah, that's
मेरे पार्किंग के ऊपर से जा रहा है, right?
yeah, yeah,
My parking it is cutting through, this is looking awkward, right? These
yeah.
kind of issues come into picture. That is number one. Second set of people, okay. Oh, you are drinking the rainwater on the terrace, ah, okay, it has pigeon shit, I don't want to drink it. Fine. Not
Right.
Yeah,
finding the
yeah.
solution, but objecting for everything.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
second set of people. Third set of people is, we are ready to pay maintenance. No. Why do you want to reduce the maintenance by doing all these things? Paying maintenance is like, see, I pay 4 rupees a square feet, I am rich person. Somebody else pays 2 rupees a square feet, he's a poor person. That's the mentality in Bangalore. It's an
Yeah,
inferiority
yeah.
complex,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true, true.
This is the third set of people. And there are four set of people who say, कुछ भी कर लो यार, I don't want to get involved. Don't
Yeah.
ask me money. Extra money, you don't ask me. You do whatever you want. Yeah, these are the four
Mhm.
sets of people. So these are, that's why today I don't think Dr. Hari spoke about it, but we also have some sections called human engineering. Whatever engineering solution you bring, unless and until you do a human engineering, nothing can be done.
Right.
Right? So coming to the technical stuffs. So now, for the technical stuff, right? Let me again provoke little bit of brainstorming to you guys. So whenever you think about rainwater harvesting, right, what everyone will tell is, okay, catch the rainwater, okay, channel it, put it into borewell, put it into ground, put it into well, so that your groundwater increases. Okay, this is what
Yeah.
people will tell you. And that is what, like, even today, Muni Ravalji told this is not the right way to do because you are catching acid. Today it is
Right.
not raining. If you just check if you guys do the test, take a litmus
Mm.
paper and check, it is acid. Water has gone long back, right? We are catching acid and we are putting it into soil.
Right.
Right.
But fortunately, this is a weak acid. It's not a strong acid. It's not having pH of 1,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that was the case, we would have been dissolved, only bones would be there.
Yeah.
It is a weak acid. And by weak acid, what I mean is if you give a time to settle, this weak acid dissociates and it becomes normal water. This is the basic property of water. So what I suggest people to do is, okay, this is first technical point. Second point is, just think about this. Shreyas and Ketul are neighbors.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm just taking a hypothetical example. Please don't blame
Yeah.
me. Okay. So
No, no, no.
Ketul and Shreyas are neighbors. So Ketul is kind of a guy who doesn't even care about anything. Shreyas is kind of a guy who cares about doing some kind of a rainwater harvesting. Shreyas does all the hard work of collecting the rooftop water, putting it into recharge pits, doing efficient recharging so that all the borewell levels are maintained. And Shreyas is all happy because he is getting back the dividends. But Shreyas
Mm.
has the borewell at 1,000 feet. Next day, this cunning fellow called Ketul, what he will do is he will drill his borewell to 2,000 feet.
Hmm.
whatever good work Shreyas is doing, dividends are taken by Ketul,
Right.
Yeah, this
right?
is a big problem.
Now what happens? Shreyas will get demotivated.
Mhm.
He will stop
Mm.
everything.
True.
Nobody does anything. And
Right.
after a while, even Ketul's 2000 feet goes down. He will drill another to 3000.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. We were joking with Mary Conley Eggert other
Yeah.
day, the lady who was there in the session today. We were saying that one fine day, Bengalurians will drill so much that it will come out of Mary's backyard in New York. You may not believe me,
Oh my
people in
God.
Sarjapura Road are drilling 4,500 feet today. This is almost the
My God.
distance between Silk Board and Electronic City.
Oh.
Think
Oh.
about this. We are getting
Yeah.
water which went there some billions of years ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you see the age of the water, it is like it is minimum a billion of year, and we are drinking that water today. We call it water, and we use lot of other tertiary treatment process to
Mm.
make it drinkable.
Yeah.
That's a different story. But the whole point I'm trying to tell you is rainwater harvesting is not only about groundwater recharge.
Mm.
I personally say it is a charity. If you're doing groundwater recharge the way Shreyas did in the example, it's a charity. Charity because Ketul pulled it.
Right.
Shreyas was never able to get the benefit. So what I suggest people is the rainwater which falls on your terrace is inherently in its purest form. If you check the TDS, it is somewhere between 50. It's the purest form of water ever can be available on this planet. Just simple filtration like a coffee strainer, a tea strainer, store it, construct huge underground structures beneath your apartments which can store the water and use it,
Right.
right? And now you may ask me, okay, fine, you are suggesting direct reuse. What PAP has Earth done? Why are you not leaving it anywhere? Because soaking percentage has decreased from 50% to 25% now because of the
Mhm.
concretization.
Yeah.
Now water is getting percolated into the earth. Now you may ask me this question: why this doglapan? Why are you
Mm.
only drinking the water? Why are you using the water directly? Why are you not letting it to the ground? There are a lot of things
Yeah.
what you can do for the recharge. Now, if somebody asks me, you are not doing anything for the recharge, I say no. I am not only in the rainy season, throughout the year. I'm saying
Mm.
365 or 366 days. Every day I am recharging 30,000 liters to the ground. How?
No. Because you're
Because
not extracting.
hmm,
You are not extracting the water out of it.
we are not extracting, but still we are recharging.
Yeah.
How? Because we treat our sewage. We treat our
Mm.
sewage, which is roughly about 55,000 liters a day. We treat it completely. We utilize it back for gardening, utilizing back for flushing, we utilize it for vehicle washing,
Mm.
and whatever excess remains, we are giving it to the ground. Right? Simple. If you are giving it to the ground, don't give clean water
Mm.
because cleaning water is energy intensive. Earth can act
Right.
as a natural filter. You give whatever it is to the ground. Just think about this, na. You have
Mm.
so many mechanic shops in this suburb.
Yeah.
Everyone puts even oil also on the ground. Earth is a natural filter.
Still there. Yeah.
So it can filter any kind of a water and it can percolate into the ground. So what we have done is we have constructed multiple recharge structures, but we never let rainwater into it. We only use rainwater for direct consumption, and the recharge happens via the treated sewage water.
Ganesh, like, was that the system already in place, or like the sewage water treatment, or was that something also you initiated? Like, if you can tell us more about it.
Okay. So you might have seen a weird smile on my face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are two bodies. Okay. One is
Mm.
called NGT and one is called CPCB, the National Green Tribunal and Central Pollution Control Board.
Mm.
These are the two key stakeholders in deciding what will be the Bengaluru's kind of how the apartments have to be constructed in Bangalore. What are the base set of guidelines for them to go green and all these things.
Okay.
So similarly, we have Karnataka State Pollution Control Board (KSPCB). So they
Mhm.
have put a guidelines which says if your apartment has more than 40 units, or
Mhm.
if it is an individual house which is having greater than 2000 square feet of area, then it should mandatorily do rainwater harvesting and sewage treatment,
Okay.
right? Is there any like very few apartments in Bangalore which have less than 40 units,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
There are more than 30,000 apartments in Bangalore, and hardly 1 or 2% maybe less than 40 units. Everyone is like 100 units, 200 units. But is this rule implemented? Are
Like
they having
highly
rainwater
doubtful.
harvesting, sewage treatment? You may not believe me, as per PCB records they have. As per KSP, you file a RTI and find out KSPCB will say out of the 30,000 apartments in Bangalore, 95% have sewage treatment plant and rainwater harvesting. But
95%. Okay.
hard reality is they are only on paper. That's why I
Oh
called
my.
KSPCB as Karnataka State Pakka Corruption Board, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They could
This
have.
is the sad reality
Mm.
of Bangalore. And that's why Kengiri Nala flows like that. Bangalore leaves nearly 350 crore liters of sewage into Kaveri River every day.
Oh
350
my God.
crore liters. Okay. And if everyone has a sewage treatment plant, where the hell is this coming from?
This is that.
Right? So
Yeah.
to answer your question, right? So to comply
Mhm.
for these checks, every builder, what he does is he will put some naam ke vaste equipments, some naam ke vaste rainwater system, so that though they will come, they will take a photo, inspect, take some bribe, sign, go. Okay, we have RWH, we have STP.
Yeah.
And other problem with Bangalore is the home buyers don't even check about this. Say if Ganesh Shanbhag is going to buy an apartment, what Ganesh Shanbhag will check? Ganesh Shanbhag will check whether it has a nice swimming pool, it has a
Mhm.
nice gym, it has a nice kids play area. He never checks whether there is water or not,
True.
right? So this is the mentality of Bangalore. This is the same stuff what is happening. Builder is not willing to provide.
Mm.
He wants to provide some naam ke vaste system, and the buyers won't even check, right? And builder wants to reduce the capex of the, because these are all, these involve money, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Builder
true.
wants to reduce the capex in terms of investment, and he always thinks that okay, fine, these guys anyway will stay here, he will, they will let them die with the operational expense, which is OPEX, right?
Correct.
So this is a sad story. The same thing happened to us, but the good thing is our builder was he was not a traditional builder. He was a CEO in some IT company, and then he started off this business. At least he had done the recharge pits. We had 12 recharge pits, 12 recharge wells,
Okay.
and we had all the equipments for the sewage treatment. We just had to assemble and get it running.
Okay.
So I led the activity to assemble and get it running. I led the activity to channel all the rainwater to the uh, rooftop was directly going to the pits. So instead of that, now it was redirected to the filtering mechanism, and then it went into the underground storage, and extra sewage treated water was redirected back to the recharge pit. So these are the activities what I worked on.
Interesting. How do you find the time to kind of balance between this activities and your normal like
Yeah,
work?
that's what, like, for first 5 days I am completely out of this.
Okay.
I generally don't mix those two things. And
Okay.
Saturdays and Sundays, I am generally involved with these kind of activities. Okay, I forgot to mention one more thing. And today Ketul was there in the WoW Action Forum.
Mhm.
And as part of the WoW Action Forum, what we did was we kind of devised a framework, right? A app kind of a thing. So I'll tell you one practical problem in this city. Shreyas wants to do something, but he
Mhm.
is not aware what to do, right? So what
Yeah.
we did was we built a framework where we asked certain basic questions from Shreyas. Okay, Shreyas, where do you live? Shreyas gives
Mm.
answer. What is the rooftop area? Shreyas adds some approximate answer, right? So one number of flats in that apartment. From that, we calculate the amount of sewage going out, right? So then that framework calculates everything and suggests you what you have to do in that apartment, right?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
and after this activity, what is the energy saved by that apartment?
Got it. Got it.
So these kind of frameworks we develop, and that's where I was able to connect more apartments together and get them going with the water sustainability.
Let's say the flat I am living in, right? Like they want to implement this. Like, what's the kind of a procedure or the starting point? Um,
Yeah, so the same set, right? Whatever the framework we have
mhm,
done, I just
mhm.
pass it on to them so that I get
Okay.
the raw
Okay.
data, and then I can suggest them what are the best solutions they can go for their apartment. And even that data, whatever we give with the return on investment, saying that, see, if you invest the same money in FD,
Mhm.
it will give you 5% returns. But if you invest
Yeah.
in these kind of activities, in 3 years your money will be back,
True. True.
right? Through energy and water savings.
Yeah.
So if that's what I told, no one cares about nature, everyone cares about money.
Yeah. It has to be about economy. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Now, before we
Mhm,
go for the next question, I just want
mhm,
to give us other small little insight for you both to think. Okay. Um, a glass of water I drink in Bangalore,
mhm.
if I'm on a municipal line, can you tell me what is the distance traversed by that water from the dam till it reaches your tap?
Hmm. From the dam, like, do we have the dam in the nearby
Like
the
wherever.
city or like? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just to give an
Uh-huh.
example, right?
Like
Like
at least.
in villages,
Mhm,
the ladies carry water from the lake or
mhm.
nearby well, and they come here.
Yeah.
1 kilometer,
Okay.
2 kilometer, 5 kilometer,
Right.
right?
Not more.
In a slightly larger towns, they will have a lake which
Mhm,
will
mhm.
pipe the supply to the lake. And what happened to Bangalore? A,
If
a
I have to
glass of
just take an
go
estimate,
ahead.
yeah, because I remember the time we were doing some sort of research with one of my friends in Gandhinagar, and I don't know about the Bangalore, but we went to test TDS and all of those things for our tap water to the nearest municipal corporation. We were discussing about like how far it is coming from and from where. So probably in Gandhinagar where I live, the distance it used to travel was around 13 to 17 kilometers to come to my place. Yeah,
You are still good.
yeah.
Bangalore, one glass of water comes from Krishnaraj Sagar Dam or Shiva Dam or Netkal
Mhm.
Dam, which is easily over 130 kilometers away, the nearest dam.
Okay.
So, on an average, the water which comes to my tap traverses 165 kilometers before it reaches me, and it climbs vertically 1,000 feet because Bangalore is a hill station. Dams are
Yeah.
at lower
Yeah.
level. So, just think about this: to pump 200 crore liters of water every day into Bangalore city, how much amount of energy is required?
True. True.
On an average, out of the total power generated in Karnataka, 35% for power is used only for pumping water.
My
I'm
God.
not talking about pumps in my
That's
house.
crazy.
I am talking about pumps in the water supply board.
Right.
So it is equivalent to 65 HP pump running to pump me one glass of water, right?
That opens up a lot of
Okay.
perspective.
Yeah.
Now it opened up a lot of perspective. Kaveri can no longer sustain Bangalore because the KRS dam is already 106 years old. It was built by the great
Mhm.
Sir M. Visvesvaraya, right? We are still using that dam to feed Bangalore, and that is over 100 years old, right? And now, because that can hold only 45 TMC of water, it can't supply Bangalore infinitely. There is a limit.
Mhm. Yeah.
And now, what our politicians are telling, have you read the recent ones? I am sure Ketul would not have run through the local newspapers, but if Shreyas, you would have glanced through
Yeah.
the next set of
Mhm.
project in Bangalore, the mega city of Bangalore, which will have 3.5 crore of population by 2035, is getting water from two new reservoirs. One is Yettinahole and other is Linganamakki Dam, right?
Mhm.
Yettinahole is 200 kilometer away.
Oh
Linganmakki is 600 kilometer away. To get
my God.
water from Linganmakki to Bangalore, trust me, you need 3 more coal-powered power plants,
God.
Yeah.
right? To drink water, I am burning coal somewhere else. And some part of central India is dying because of excessive coal mining. What
Yeah.
is the solution? Think like Mumbai. Mumbai is today a city of 3 crore people. But what is Mumbai doing? Mumbai is not relying on any rivers. Mumbai is not relying on any long distance water. Mumbai is just having 7 lakes filled. But
Yeah.
okay, Mumbai gets more rainfall than Bangalore. It gets about 3000 of rainfall, double that of Bangalore. But just think about this. They are saying, let's go vocal for local.
Yeah.
I will
Mm.
have my local water supply. I don't rely on somebody else's dam, right? Bangalore also needs the same solution. If you give me a chance, I will identify 8 lakes in Bangalore by next 15 days, which can hold water and supply to Bangalore, right?
Oh, oh.
So it opened up a lot new perspectives. Water is energy.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we say,
Got it.
okay, load shedding हो रहा है, power cut हो रहा है, plants को coal नहीं मिल रहा है. Why is the coal
So
used for? It's used for this purpose.
interesting.
Yeah. So like you raise a very interesting point that we are thinking in terms of transferring the water. Water shortage है वो सबने acknowledge कर दिया. Okay, like everyone acknowledge that there's a water shortage. Okay, now is it a matter of perspective or is it a matter of some sort of technical or some sort of system change that is required for a government to realize that we can go for vocal for local too? What what do you think in general uh, is stopping governments from implementing these models at a local level?
When me, Ketul, and Shreyas are talking,
Yeah.
right? We will talk in terms of thousands.
Hmm.
अरे यार मेरे को थोड़ा पैसा चाहिए, 10,000 रुपए जीपे कर लेना,
Hmm.
right? We never even talk in terms of lakhs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Hardly once in a while we talk about lakhs. Maybe when we are doing a property deal, when we want to purchase a car. As a
Right.
common man, we talk in terms of thousands. So the local solution and a long distance water, that's the difference. The local solutions, whatever I am talking about, will cost in terms of crores to implement.
Mhm.
The long distance solutions will cost in terms of thousands of crores. Like for
Correct.
example, the Mekeda 2 is 1200 crores, Ettinahole is 1200 crores, proposed Linganmakki is 40 odd thousand crores, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So when the digit increases threefold,
Yeah. The
the leakages
profit.
increases threefold.
Right.
That's it.
So as, if I am a politician, why will I think about local? I want to make money. For to make money, more infrastructure is done. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. Nothing more than that.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
And people are not even questioning about this.
Right.
That's sad.
And
Hmm.
if you question in any of the public meetings, you are sent out of the meeting.
Yeah. That's sad. And that's sad that we are living in a democracy. Yeah.
No, I was
So
very candid, okay, because I
yeah.
experienced it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And these are the things I think we must all need to know that sometimes it's on us to take certain things in matter in hand.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to have this question that, let's say if we don't have say in what projects have to be implemented at a government level, okay, then as an individual, okay, I think it makes sense to have certain conscious choices, right? That we day to day implement it. So, like, what is the role of individuals in this case scenario? Like, what can they do?
Okay. So let me give you an analogy. Okay. Just think about a farmer in the village,
Hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
what does farmer in the village do? He will kind of have a farmland, say for example, say 2000 square feet of farmland. It's very small. But let's take 1 acre
Yeah.
of farmland, right?
Mhm.
First, he will go and he will dig he will dig the open well, not a bore well. He will himself dig it, and
Mm,
whatever soil comes out of it, with that soil, he builds a house. He doesn't use concrete. It is a rammed earth house what he
mm,
builds.
mm,
In the front, he will sow something, right? He will cultivate for himself the food items, daily needs, tomato, brinjal, radish, something like that.
mm,
He will eat. Some woody trees he would have put, and the same firewood he uses for cooking the food. Worst case, if there is any electricity requirement, he may put a solar panel, right?
mm. Yeah.
Why I gave you this example is tomorrow, if the farmer says, I don't want this house, he will simply destroy the house and it will be back to earth again because there is no concrete involved. It will be back to soil again. So, this farmer's example, why I gave is farmer is living a grid free life. What are we doing? We are living a gridded life. For my electricity requirement, I am connected to the power grid. For my drinking water, I am connected to the water supply grid. For the shit what I create to leave it, I am connected to the sewerage grid,
Mm,
right? For everything, I am connected to a grid. So what Bengalurians have to do is they have to convert themselves to the grid-free living. What grid-free
mm,
living means? I have to generate my own water. I have to save the water during the rains through injection or anything so that I can actually take it out during the summer seasons. I have to come out of the gridded water concept. Second thing, I can generate a grid free power on my rooftop, right? So
yeah, yeah.
everything can be done in a grid free way. So if you think about this, the solutions are local. You do you when you remove yourself from the sewerage gate grid, you think about sewage treatment in situ.
Mm,
When you come out of the Bescom grid, you think about solar power generation. When you come out of the water supply grid, you think about rainwater harvesting. So what I suggest to Bengaluru people is we are blessed with good amount of rainfall, good amount of
mm.
sunlight, and a proper temperature for doing sewage treatment. So what is stopping us? We should go grid free, like the farmer in the
Yeah.
example.
Majority of sustainability around initiatives, right? Like since we have this entire perception of economy in a very wrong sense for a long time, so uh, what is it like about incentivizing this type of initiatives? Like, uh, is there a model or framework that you have tried out or you are aware about? But how does this entire thing can be incentivized apart from like the obvious benefits of like getting the water, reducing the dependency? But do you think like still people need a more incentive to kind of make it a mainstream kind of a thing like other
Yeah.
businesses?
Okay. So the story what I told about long distance water, no,
Hmm.
I did not include the dark part of it. But now since you have raised it, let me talk about dark part of it also.
Yeah.
So what does Bengaluru BWSSB, right? Bengaluru Water Supply and Sewerage Board charge for 1,000 liters of drinking water? Drinking water as in it is pure from everything. What does it
Mhm.
charge? 1,000 liters of water. Any idea? 1 liter of Bisleri will
Um,
cost you 20 rupees.
mhm.
The drinking grade water supplied by BWSSB will cost less than 20 rupees for 1,000 liters. Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
That's
that's
because that's
very small.
because in India, water is part of socialism.
Yeah.
We want
Mhm.
water to reach to the last person
Mm,
with a lower cost. This is the
yeah.
cheapest anybody can supply water across the world. 1,000 liters drinking quality water is 20 rupees. Add GST, it will be like 24, 25 rupees, right? But why I brought out this point was we are already living in the incentivized world. Somebody else is paying. Think about this. If I give you 20 rupees, can you pump me 1,000 liters water from KRS dam? Not at all possible because of the energy
Yeah,
requirements involved.
true.
I can share you the analysis what we have done, how much it costs to pump the water. So we are already living in the incentivized world. So on top of this, if these things have to be incentivized, right, then this is the basic. I don't know. I mean, what should I call about it? Uh, this is the basic fundamental duty anybody has to do.
Right, right.
What government can do is, yeah, okay, fine, I can reduce GST on it to 0% if these kind of
Mm-hmm.
equipments have, say, for example, rainwater equipments have to be purchased. Let the GST come down to 0%. If I want to set up a sewage treatment plant, let the GST come down from 12 to, sorry, now it is 18%, 18 to say 5%. If I'm going with solar installations, let's
Yeah.
completely abolish the GST. So that can happen from the government front. But apart from that, if somebody is looking at the instant incentives such like, okay, if I am doing rainwater harvesting, my monthly power bill should be reduced by 100 rupees. So that kind of thing I don't agree. But yeah, if you are reducing on taxes,
Mm.
yes, because we have
Right.
to come out of this socialism mindset. We have to live in the realistic terms. Only then people will understand. That's what I'm from
Mm.
point number one. I'm telling no. The point you lose the last drop of water, only then we realize. But today
Yeah.
that the government is not allowing that.
Mm.
Let's forget about it. I'll give you one example. So
Mm.
the Mekedatu is 1200 crore project. Yettinahole
Mhm.
is 1200 crore project. Roughly 2400 crores to get Bengaluru the drinking water. And what is the
Mhm.
population of Bangalore? Less than 2 crore. That means government is investing 120 crore on my, oh, not 120. How much it will come? Yeah, some
Two
amount.
crore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very high, very
120 crore. Some 120 crore on me. Even if I drink water throughout my life, I won't pay 120 crore bill.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the harsh reality of socialism. And this is what is happening in India.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't realize it until we go into the deep depth of it.
I want to understand, like, since you started in 2018, okay, and till now, okay, what has been like the impact that you have created, okay, and moving forward, let's say if we want to scale like an enterprise, okay, like I don't want to like an enterprise, but the rate at which companies grow or rate at which some programs scale up, okay, like do you think there has been enough scale, or do you think that there are some things that we need to change to get this scale up across not only Bangalore, but even if we look at Bangalore is just one example, and I'm sure there are cities across India, probably 60% of cities have water shortage. So if you want to scale at, those parts, like what do you think needs to be in system? Like what does the ideal system look like?
Yes, I'm not sure whether you were there when Dr. Hari was talking about it. We took WOW in Chennai as well as Trichy as part of Bangalore cities, and we have this mission of expanding there. And we are planning to take it global by taking Casablanca as the example, which is in Morocco,
Yeah.
right? So now, now when you ask me this question, right, the fundamentals remain the same across the cities. So if you are planning to go, okay, let me give you my own example. And don't know whether you opened the link of article which I had shared you on WhatsApp, which was there on Facebook. So in that article, right, I have mentioned about a house where my parents live, right, and that is the house in a city called Hubballi in
Yeah.
north of Karnataka. There is no regulation as such anything in Hubli. Hubli is what like second largest populated city in Karnataka, but there are no regulations like Bangalore. Okay, you can be grid connected, use whatever water, and because population is less compared to Bangalore. But think about us, we took that house out of the grid in 2020, right? That was the first house in North Karnataka. I'm not talking about a city level. A first house in North Karnataka to have a sewage treatment plant, right? Because we knew the benefits of it. So what I'm trying to tell you is these initiatives can be scaled up very easily. Only thing is you need to know a little bit tweaks here and there. Like the basic rainfall pattern may differ. Like Gandhinagar may have a different rainfall pattern compared to Kerala. If I go to Wayanad, there we have to adjust for heavy rainfalls, right? Only basics differ. But To tell in a humorous way, shit is a shit, right? Wherever you treat it, it's a shit.
Yeah,
Kerala may
True.
treat it in septic tank, Bangalore may treat it in SBR STP, and my coastal Karnataka may use some different method. But if you understand the basics of how to go grid free, then this can be expanded in any cities. So from 2018 to so far, the way I have been working is it's completely voluntary, right? I don't charge anybody anything. So whoever calls me, like I will help them with the basic designs and the vendors from where they can purchase all the equipments. Like if they need any more help, like related to plumbing and all, I can connect them to some local plumbers in that area. So these kind of things, because I am associated with a bigger network called Wow, it has become possible, right? So in Bangalore, it's easy for me to scale it across the cities. I may have to identify these local resources there. See, not always possible to send the skilled person from here to some other
correct,
city, right?
correct.
True, true.
So that is the only bottleneck. But apart from that, if basics are correct, then the, anything related to water sustainability can be achieved.
So let's say you said that the bottleneck is getting good resources on ground. Sometimes the idea is that, okay, we have the guides. Okay, we have proven that the model exists. Now we need someone who can be on the ground and implement those levels. Now, like India employs like 13 million people every year into industry. Okay, there are youths who are coming out of college and moving into this sort of areas. And also, I was reading the report today itself, which says that 1 in 3 MBAs are employable and 1 in 5 engineers are employable. Okay, do you think it makes sense for organizations or governments, to implement this level of systems into schools or something like that? Okay, so I remember the day before yesterday we were talking to one of the lady from Pune, and she had a vision that the brown leaves are not to be burnt. Okay, they had to be used in composting, and she said that they implemented a program in a school in Pune where the students have the responsibility to run that model. What do you think about initiatives like that in terms of saving conservation of water? What's the role of training, and
Yes.
how can we incentivize these people to take these as an employment opportunities in general?
Yeah. So, like we have been doing this rain reach programs for the high schools and I'm sorry, for the high schools as well as the primary schools, where the basic idea is to give them the education water conservation.
Hmm,
See, whatever is taught in books is not sufficient.
correct.
If you tell them via certain audio visual means, tell them via stories, right? People will connect with it very fast. And there is a dragon effect as well for this, right? They will go and in turn bug their parents why
Yeah,
this is not there in my house, right?
Yeah.
That is what
True.
we want. And once you sow the idea of green in the minds of kid, right, it
Mm,
remains. Like we are also doing some programs in engineering colleges, in Bangalore. Like I am chatting with few of the students from there, the engineering colleges. So at the engineering college, the tweak becomes a little different. For them, it is no more ideology. It is more about profession.
yeah,
mm,
And today, green jobs are coming up.
yeah.
A lot of green jobs. Like the person who I'm connecting to with you next, right? Vikas Brahmawar, I spoke to you. He was in London Stock Exchange. One
Hmm,
fine day, he quit his job and he started Boson White Waters.
yeah.
And today,
mm,
when the Shark Tank was running, he was raising funds for his green venture here, and he raised a fund as well, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
So green
interesting.
jobs and Eco STP, right, which is run by Tarun. I will connect Ketul with Tarun. Eco STP is today a household name in Bangalore, and it was Tarun's idea, right? Green jobs are coming up. So this is not the only thing. There is another person. Let me quote his name, Suhail, who runs this co-evolve group. You can just check in Google. There is a co-evolve. He is building apartments which are IGBC Platinum certified, IGBC Diamond certified, India Green Building Council certified apartments, green apartments. Like you can think about apartments getting constructed grid free, right?
Hmm.
So these are the green entrepreneurs who are coming up. So these kind of ideas you have to inculcate in the minds of engineers, MBAs, and all these kind of people. So the tone will differ. In case of school, till matriculation, it will be about pumping in the ideas, making them understand what is green. It's more about education, and you can only feel the reverberation effect when they reach out to their parents. But in case of engineers, in the engineering students, it will be more about green jobs. See, I should not feel that I don't have a future in green jobs,
Hmm.
right? So that kind of education is very important.
I also come across a platform which is like a job portal for sustainability careers. So yeah, pretty interesting to see how the overall interest and consciousness is rising.
Like I will talk about another person who was with me
Mhm.
in Cisco. He quit Cisco and he started his company called Environics. His name is Murli. Environment plus economics, Environics. And
Interesting.
they are doing all the things which are on IoT platform which can save environment,
Mhm.
right? So these are all the green jobs getting created, but unfortunately media doesn't show it.
Yeah, yeah,
We only think about
that's
FANG
true.
companies, right? That's where we live in.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's a very harsh reality until nobody's thinking about life. Basically, people are thinking about utilities. Like, we talk a lot of about information. We talk a lot of about data. We talk a lot of about fashion, but we never
That's what
talk
I told
about.
in the start.
Yeah,
We talk about
exactly.
everything. We don't talk about human engineering,
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
and
That is what
yeah.
is lacking.
Yeah. What is like how big is your team in general on ground, basically, like in Bangalore? Are you like one person going to companies and consulting, or is it like you have a team of people?
Yeah. So now I
In,
am part of WOW. It is a team
right.
where it's a team of experts
Mhm.
who work mostly without any remuneration, right? It's all set of volunteers, right? From Dr. Hariharan's ideology to whoever works in. But we also have certain service providers associated with WOW. We call them approved service providers. So now I am a team.
Right.
Earlier, I used to do all single. Now, since it's a team, it becomes easy to connect, right? For example, if somebody asks me a help in other part of the city, which is, say, for example, Vijayanagar, Rajeshwari Nagar, and that part, which is very far to me, right? So, and
Mhm.
I'll connect somebody staying over there so that they have some local person to help them. So, yeah, to answer your question, being a team is very important because your reach increases. And second thing is, I believe in the idea of chain reaction, right? If I
Yeah,
suggest something to Ketul should benefit from it and pass on the information to Shreyas.
Correct.
It's not like I have
true.
to reach Shreyas again. So if you can build this kind of an environment where Ketul gets benefited and passes on the information to Shreyas, that will create a web.
Hmm.
Yeah, true. So I think like WoW also has a online presence as well, right? Like people can, if they want to be part of such a community, they can
Yes.
join there. Okay, interesting.
And I was talking to Hariharanji the other day on the call. After you made a connection on email, we got on call. I think next day, and he was discussing about the same idea, like that it is important that we show these models working overall. The model works. Okay, the rainwater that you drink, first thing, get a belief, trust factor into it. Second thing, he said that it is also important in this days that we connect it to the economy. And the third thing that he's specifically focused about is that models in each and every field of sustainability exist. Okay, the only way it's not working is because we are not communicating it to people.
Again, this answer
Yeah,
to this is it again boils down to the same stuff. CAPEX
right.
versus OPEX,
Yeah.
right? Just think about it. Tomorrow you are buying a car.
Hmm.
Okay. You just go and buy car based on somebody else's review.
Right.
right? You go buy a car based on its color,
Mm.
right? But just think about this: today's car, in sold in India especially, are so inefficient. Okay, the power steering ka power comes from fossil fuel,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
The air conditioning runs on fossil fuel.
Right.
Can't we add another set of batteries and get your power running on your steering? Is it so
Yeah.
hard? When we can transmit power till moon, is it so hard to get up additional power for your steering? No,
Right.
right? Why it is not done? Because we want shorter capex. I
Mm.
want to buy a car at a lesser cost,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't mind spending by refueling it.
Thousands in refueling.
Out of 1 liter petrol, whatever is getting burnt, only hardly 300 ml is used for actual movement. Rest all is lost.
Yeah.
That's the efficiency, 30%, right?
Right.
This is again same mentality. I want to buy something with a lesser capex. Same
Yeah.
thing goes with apartments also. Same thing goes with houses. Okay, tomorrow I will see what to do, but today I want at a lesser cost.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, we don't want to pay that small little delta which is associated with sustainability, but we want to pay more in the operational expense. So today my apartment is benefiting because we have a lesser operational expense, but we invested some
Yeah.
kind of a capex.
Right.
But this is a typical Indian mentality. We don't want to add any additional capex. As
Mm.
simple as that.
Yeah. And also the same goes with our power grid structures as well. Whatever is generated, like we get only 30 to 40% of
Till the point
what's
we have
in.
coal, because India is the
Yeah.
largest producer of coal, one of the largest producer of coals, and central India, I feel bad for those people. These
Yeah.
forests are getting destroyed in name of coal, and every
Very.
day what 36 metric tons are getting extracted
Yeah.
for just for power generation in India, right? And the tribals in Jharkhand, Odisha, wherever we are, sorry, what is that? Dhanbad, Roorkela,
Mm.
wherever we
Yeah.
are extracting coal, the tribals are getting dislodged because of the coal mining, and we have Navaratna companies. Central Coalfields Limited, Northern Coalfield Limited, Mahanadi Coalfield Limited, right?
Yeah.
And we have a National Thermal Power Corporation (NTPC), which is also Navaratna company, right?
Yeah.
What else can be a saddest state than this particular thing,
Mm.
right?
That is
True.
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 Yeah.
Why are we not going with uh, solar power? Like they say, Bangalore, every rooftop can generate solar power, and it has the ability to touch 3.2.3 terawatt or something like that. Why is it not happening? Why are
Because
like
the economics is not in place for politicians and for everyone. So,
exactly?
yeah.
See, Karnataka is today buying power from Chhattisgarh's the coal-based plants. To transmit the power from Chhattisgarh to Karnataka, the new lines have to be laid, right?
Right.
Mm. Yeah.
All those involve infrastructure. And again, we talk in terms of thousands, they talk in terms of the thousands of crores.
Yeah. And so there is one interesting aspect I'd like to discuss with you. I'm not so sure whether it's in right context, but let's say as the depression probably on an economic level is is or when it hits, okay, that calls for saving of costs and kind of accumulating wealth also. In those cases, can depression be benefit for environmental economics? Like, because then it's more about how, like, uh, as you said, like grid free houses, okay, those houses are sustainable and ecosystem in its own, right? That's where the government does not have to transport the water, they does not have to generate extra electricity, that does not have to build such kind of infrastructure projects. So I'm just curious to know that does financial crisis means it's a good time for environmental economics to grow?
No. Straight answer is no.
Mhm.
Because environmental economics is directly proportional to human engineering, is never related to the direct economics.
Mhm.
Right? Point number one. Point number two is the environmental economics comes with the delta of capex.
Mhm.
And during depression, nobody wants to add that particular capex into the ongoing system,
Right.
right? So considering these 2 points, I don't think it would be a right choice for anyone to pump up.
Mhm.
So this can only happen when there is actual depression with respect to water levels, but not with respect to economics. The
So
other
that
day,
is
I
why.
was talking to Maharaja of Mysuru, who
Mhm.
is uh, YKR Chamraj Vadayar, Yaduveer Krishnaraj Chamraj Vadayar, right?
Mhm.
Who is the present Maharaja of Mysuru. So he was part of, again, Dr. Hari was also there on the call. He was part of IGBC's, India Green Building Council's initiative, not India Green Building, sorry, Prem Jain Memorial Trust. Dr. Prem Jain is known as architect of green buildings in India, right? Dr. Prem Jain Memorial Trust, he was giving one lecture, and the theme of that particular day was India's water architecture from past into present,
Mhm.
right? And Maharaja of Mysuru, Yaduvirji, was there in that call. Just think about this, right? Like today, there is IAS officer in Coimbatore who revived the Chola era canals and made water positive city, right? And there is a gentleman in Wow called Dr. Narasimha who is running Trichy, and he renovated something called Uyagondan canals, which was built by Raja Raja Chola, and that brought in
Mhm.
water to the city. And people started drinking the waters from the canals which were built by Chola era.
Right.
Similarly, if you go to Ballari region, which is one of the hottest region of Karnataka, you find the dams built by Krishna Deva Raya of Vijayanagara Empire. Think about it. Even
Yeah.
today, I am drinking this water, which was pumped from Krishnaraja Sagara Dam, which was built by Maharaja of Mysuru.
Mhm.
So somewhere ancient stuff is there,
Yeah.
Right.
and we are using it today.
Mhm.
And we did not even think of doing anything else for last 100 years.
Yeah.
We are like overutilizing the already existing infrastructure which was built by our ancestors.
Mm.
We did not do
Mhm.
anything. Okay, now what can we do? We have to go local. We cannot build another Krishnaraj Sagar dam.
Right.
The more you build dams, there will be more conflicts between the states,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it will lead to Supreme Court giving another verdict, which which both again will fight, right? This is a never
Yeah.
ending story. Rather than
Mhm.
that, you think your house is an ecosystem,
Yeah.
make it self-sufficient, or rather, as our PM calls it, make it Atmanirbhar. It was like, how do you practice sustainability at an individual level?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that you use electrical vehicles. You also said that you do not let RO wastewater or something like that. So I was particularly intrigued about this because when the RO guy was installing RO at my home, like the very first time when we had RO. So I asked about him, like, what is the wastage ratio of it? And it said 60/40. So I said 60% अंदर जाता है, right? तो नहीं बोला 60% बाहर जाता
Yeah.
है,
That's.
40% अंदर आता है.
Bangalore,
So,
Bangalore में ratio तो 1:4 है.
yeah,
Oh my
Okay,
God.
because of the TDS in the water level.
yeah,
Okay, so now if you are okay, let's talk about it also. Like,
yeah.
let's think about this. Okay, I'll give you another analogy.
Mhm,
You just go into your backyard or just outside your house and ask a kid, what is
mhm,
MRF? Right?
mhm.
90% of the kid, the answer they gave is it's Virat Kohli's bat company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, yeah,
We see what we believe what we see in the television.
right.
And 90% Indians buy RO by seeing the ad of Sabse Shuddh Pani.
Yep, yes,
True. True.
True? And the same set of 90% Indians don't even believe that there is a better RO system existing in market.
mm, yeah.
And whom is it developed for? It is developed for our own soldiers. Okay, let me give you another perspective. Bangalore city, about 40% is under Ministry of Defense and 60% is under BBMP, Brad Bangalore Mahanagarpalika.
Mhm,
Both Bangalores exist. The 40% which is under Ministry of Defense is still living a better life
Mm.
because
Yeah.
they use water filtered by the filter developed by our own scientists who are sitting in DRDO and BARC. They use the sewage treatment system which is developed by Baba Atomic Research Center, DRDO, and a lot of premier agencies, right?
Mm.
Many people don't even know that Baba Atomic Research Center has developed a RO membrane which discards very less water or doesn't even discard water. And many people don't even know that you don't need RO for anything less than 1000 TDS. Simply यार लगा दिया सब लोगों ने, मैं भी लगा रहा हूँ. चाहिए
Mm-hmm.
क्या? Most people don't even think about it.
Right.
Right? This is where we experimented with Baba Atomic Research Center. The filter, whatever I have put in my house, I can share you the snapshot on the WhatsApp later point in time. That is actually outer casing has Kent, but inner membranes are all built by Baba Atomic Research Center. 1 liter goes in, 1 liter goes out, comes out, filtered.
Right. There is
Right?
no
So
wastage.
exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The
Yeah.
better products developed in India are not advertised.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever are advertised are should not be purchased. That's what my philosophy is. If you see in my entire house, right, whatever it is, you don't find one single item which is advertised in television. Right?
Very
And
interesting.
coming to the other part, I'm currently working on a solar power plant, which is still in design stage. It will be a 40 kilowatt power system on my rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
It will offset almost 40% of the power in entire apartment.
Interesting.
Oh.
And on the personal front, I don't use I don't travel anywhere in the vehicles that have fossil fuels. For
Mm-hmm.
the last 5 years, I'm using only electric, right? Both
Interesting.
two-wheeler as well as four-wheeler. My four-wheeler is the new one, which I purchased a couple of months back. But I am going only electric, and I try to charge at power stations which are generated from the renewable sources.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like,
at the personal level, I'm kind of living, like you and my wife will agree with that. So uh, we are living some kind of a sustainable life, yes.
yeah. How
I
hard
try
it
to be
is?
minimalistic as possible.
Yeah.
It's not hard, trust me. It's not hard. It's
Mm.
all about perspectives, right? We
Yeah.
always feel that it's very hard to live a sustainable life. It's not, right? Only
Right.
thing is, see, I am also wearing normal t-shirts like you, right? I'm not
Correct.
saying that I am wearing this t-shirt and all. Whatever can be done, I'm doing. I'm not doing at the very
Yeah.
high level where I'm wearing khadi and all, right? So that's not the level of sustainability I'm reckoning. But there is an impact. See, every house loses 50 liters of water per day due to RO discard because they drink 15
Yeah.
liters of water, right? Extrapolating it to 100 flat apartment, this is 5,000 liters.
Mm.
Think about it. It is a one tanker worth of water
Right.
just going into drain. So that can be cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, whenever you are commuting, for example, you have to plan your commute in such a way that you plan your breaks at the power stations. So that's the only hard thing to do. Apart from that, it's all good.
Someone talks about sustainability, they talk about hardships. It's not actually. It's like
It's
how you
not.
basically plan your day. That's it. Like nothing more than that, probably.
And best part is, you might have heard from a lot of people in Bangalore, right? अरे बेंगलुरु आते ही मेरा बाल झड़ने लगे, वो हो गया, वो ये हो गया,
Yeah.
मैं गंजा हो गया. I proudly say I bath in the purest water. I can't. Nothing can happen to my hairs.
Your message that you have for our audience.
Yeah. So India is a country which is running from the morals which are derived from our epics, right? Like we have great epics written in terms of Vedas,
Yeah.
Ramayana, Mahabharata. I would like to invoke one such shloka which is written. I'm not sure which epic it is written. I feel it is Manusmriti, but it says Prithivyam Trini Ratnani Jalam Annam Subhashitam मूढ़ैः पाषाणखण्डेषु रत्नसंज्ञा विधीयते. So now let me translate this in English. Prithvivyam Trini Ratnani. On this planet Earth, there are only three gems. Jalam, Annam, Subhashitam. Water, food, and the good deeds you do. Mudaihi Pashana Khandeshu Ratna Samnya Vidiyate. But there are fools who think the piece of stone as the real gemstone. Right? This one shloka has lot of meaning. It said, go with food security, go with water security, and be the best person you are with respect to the deeds you do. Right? We for all the readers and listeners of this conversation, right? My message would be, when our ancient epics have stressed so much on all the three factors, right? Who are we to spoil it? And especially post industrial revolution, we have done enough of damage to all the things. Even we have screwed up our food security as well, right? So whatever one mango used to give us the nutrition some 50 years back, almost 6 mangoes are required today for the same set of nutrition. We have lost on food security, we have lost on water security, and for all this mess we are dependent on somebody else, like government agencies. We are blaming somebody else for not doing their work. What are we doing? We have done enough damage to mother nature. It's time to give back. If you think in that angle, you will start living a grid free life. Now if we go through our epics, right, we find lot of such examples where they have stressed importance of water.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just think about it, right? Like right from River Kaveri, it is named after Kaveraya sage who did a meditation to get Ganga in south of India. Right. That's how our epic starts. That means there was one such person who was thinking about water.
Mm.
True,
Right.
Right.
true.
When nobody was thinking about water, one person was thinking about water, and he became great. Right.
Mm.
So, and other way around, if you think about it, right? Let's take example of Kashmir.
Mm.
Why are three countries fighting for Kashmir? It's because Kashmir has water.
Yeah.
If Kashmir
Yeah,
was Rajasthan, India would have said, "Bhai, le lo, I don't want it." Because to maintain Kashmir, we are spending money. We are not getting any money from Kashmir. We are getting only water.
Yeah.
And now it is equally divided between three countries, so everybody is happy.
Mm-hmm.
If Kashmir was completely under India control, Pakistan would have been desert because no Indus.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So why I gave you this example is the next world war happens on
Yes.
water.
Yeah.
It's
That
Correct.
already
is true.
happening, right?
Yeah.
Already yes.
So now think like Israel.
Mm,
Israel thinks Israel has introduced the concept of black gold, and black
Mm.
gold is not petrol for them; it is sewage.
Right. Because they
Countries
can.
are
true. Yeah,
considering
treatment.
sewage as a resource because they can convert it back into health grade water.
Mm.
Instead of doing desalination from the sea, sewage
Yeah.
treatment is much better.
Yeah.
Singapore has introduced the concept of neo water. I'm not sure whether you guys have heard about it. When Singapore launched neo water, the prime minister of Singapore, he came in a public conference, took the neo water from the outlet, and he drank
Right.
and proved that it can be drunk by anyone.
Yes.
If a
Yeah.
prime minister of a city can do that on a public television, if some similar things are done by our politicians, right,
Yeah.
it will also matter. Their
Yeah.
followers will at least do start doing something. But
Mm.
unfortunately, nothing of this sort is happening in India.
Yeah.
With more and more initiatives like this, I think probably we can.
Yeah.
There is a hope that it can change. So
Yeah, I mean, few people starting at individual level, they should spread like a big movement. That's it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, true.
And I hope that your article reaches multiple readers across the country and they take up these kind of initiatives.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's how we actually started. I spoke to you on a phone as well, that we actually spoke in our group about the initiatives that we took. And couple of you know people whom we spoke now has, so one of them actually started a recycling company in general from the initiative that we did. So that's where it triggered to both of us that let's not keep this too restricted to the people we know, and let's build it into a platform sort of area, where we connect with a lot of people. We ourselves learn. Also, we keep these ideas models on a stage where people can understand and digest in a understandable manner, basically. Yeah.
True.
Okay.
More hands on deck. I think that will be more useful.